thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. That's just awesome because I've got great friends. Thank you.
It's not my first time.
No, it's not. That's not. So this is a new piece of technology. This is a tech meetup, and I thought, hey, since it's new, maybe you don't know about it, you'd like to hear about it, maybe you find some value in it. Otherwise, it's always great to have a little technology wash over you, so that's what we'll do. Neudesic, we're here in Portland, as well as around the country. There are some things that we do that might be of interest to startups. You can always find me. I want to talk to you about Application Insights. This is a service for monitoring applications and reporting on that so that you can understand and optimize the application's performance. It's very lightweight and easy to use, very low cost, because free is generally low cost. So it's easy to use it then in development as well as in your testing and into production. So you've used it to help tune your app, but you've also learned how to use that tool effectively so that when you get to production and maybe you have a performance issue, you're just dealing with the fact that you got on the front cover of the Wall Street Journal or something like that, you're able to be able to monitor your service very well. It is part of the Visual Studio online service. That just got announced and went into production in November as part of the Visual Studio 2013 launch. So that's currently in preview. I'll have some URLs at the end, but Visual Studio Online is visualstudio.com. And so it's a service. You walk up and you say, hey, I want to add an application to it. I took an existing web application that I host on Windows Azure, and within 3 minutes I was able to follow the directions and have it instrumented and deployed. Took another maybe 5 or 10 minutes for that data to start trickling back to the server for it to aggregate it and start generating reports. So it was all that easy. More than just web apps, I just give you an example of how to get started with it. One of the things you can do with it is just ask it to monitor any website. You just need a public URL, or you can write some code for a web test. It will execute that periodically. It will do that from around the world, aggregate those statistics, and give it back to you in terms of uptime and responsiveness. You can use that to monitor your own websites, your competition's websites, a website of a partner. Very easy to do. And setting that up on your own self, you could do that, but how do you go figure out how to hit it from globally diverse locations? Another thing you might do, and that's what I did, is to use it to monitor web application. That can be a web application that you're running on site that currently is written in .NET or Java. I think they're working at expanding this offering because the base technology is something that they've taken a while to put in place. Or a web role on Azure, so that's basically IIS in the cloud, a web server in the cloud. And because this is also a part of the Visual Studio online offering, that's where I do my builds and deployments from. So I can overlay performance data with my deployment data, know what deployment actually started creating the memory leak that is now generating a performance hit. So I think I just skipped over a slide. There we go. Another thing I can do with this is to monitor patterns of users using my application. I get a number of things out of the box, depending on what kind of an application it is. And different applications, be they Java or .NET, can program against different SDKs, write little small pieces of code to instrument with custom events and aggregate that data in there as well. So right now, I can do that with websites, web services, a Windows Store app, that's what runs on Windows 8 that you download and buy, or Windows Phone apps. So imagine if I'm in an enterprise maybe and I've got some Windows Phone apps, I can monitor their behavior as well as the server that they talk back to and get a complete picture of how the total solution is working. Now that you've got all these statistics, somebody who actually wants to be able to do their job and be able to see it at a glance what's going on, so you can create a dashboard and just surface the metrics that are important to you, as well as creating alerts so that you can get email notification when a certain criteria gets hit, a certain trend occurs. And so that gives you the ability, so far once for me, to know about a problem before any of my users do. So that's my 5 minutes. I'll wrap up. So it's a service, as I said, of Visual Studio Online. Visual Studio Online itself is in preview mode. Preview means they're still adding features to it. They're not ready to declare victory and be able to provide you with an SLA. So, you know, my experience is, hey, maybe once a month or so, something's down or slow, but it's great. If you have 5 users or fewer, it's free. So it's a good thing, even if this isn't your technology platform, to go give it a try and see what you can learn and know what to ask for in other products. While it's in preview mode, any additional users are $10 a month. And when it reverts from preview into reality, it'll be $20 a month. Now, this is Visual Studio Online, which presents a number of things, but you can develop using your local tools. That's what I do. I don't use the online Visual Studio yet. I'm not there. I'm not ready for it. I'm just developing with, I'm developing with my local Visual Studio. You pick your development environment. Really doesn't matter. And I got 2 easy to remember URLs there. So here's where you take a picture. No flash, please. 2 different places to get started, or just go to visualstudio.com and look for application insights. That's it. Sir.
So my question is, when you said it took 3 minutes to instrument and deploy, was that a website, a web service, a front-end app?
That was what on Windows Azure is referred to as a cloud service. So it's got 2 web roles and a worker role.
Okay. And do you notice any slowdown as it tracks and reports all this data, or do you know what the slowdown is, if any?
You know, certainly there's got to be a non-zero hit there, but I'm running this app on 2 small instances, so it's 2 dedicated cores is all I know. Right now I don't have any performance issues. One of the things I was looking for was spikes in the application, and they haven't shown up, right? I think it was probably somebody's latency in their own network that they were reporting as the application being slow, but it gives me hard data on that.